going on, everybody? The new installment of the Outrage TV podcast. I guess we're just going to call it the OutrageCast. My name is Nick Jordan. Starting this thing off solo dolo. Going through some current events here, just breaking stuff down in the world, giving y'all an update on the channel. In some upcoming episodes, we will be bringing on my boys Kevin Pollard Jr. and Kevin Bennett, my partners in crime in our parody hijinks of the social justice left. But yeah, man, we've been on a little hiatus. Our main director, Igor, has been putting together his first little feature film and everything, so he's been real busy. Kevin Bennett's been booking every comedy show, you know, within the tri-state area, and so he's been running around. He was on America's Got Talent. But yeah, man, I think the podcast, we can get it back up and running and break some stuff down for y'all. We definitely have some new sketches coming up in the near future. We get the crew back together, compile the Avengers of the outskirts of YouTube sketch comedy, and yeah, man, getting back into it right here, dude. OutrageCast numero uno. We're gonna try to add a little more production value this time around. You can see I've got a luxurious backdrop here, and yeah, I think the lighting is all right. We're gonna try to do something about the audio. I'm just recording on my phone here, and we got the audio from the camera, but it kind of sounds a little weird. I don't know how that's gonna go, but we'll see, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see how it goes. So yeah, my name is Nick Jordan. This is Outrage TV, and I'm out here in Los Angeles. Beautiful Saturday afternoon. And you know, I'm just distraught with all of the terrible tragedies going on at the border, the U.S.-Mexico border right now. The horrors of separating children from their parents, and how it's all Donald Trump's fault. And I'm glad Time Magazine cleared that up for us all and really showed us the dynamic at play there. Trump looking down upon the poor forsaken child, and Donald Trump is just, he's anti-empathy. He has no soul, and you know, something that they never want to address in that debate is the parents are committing a federal crime. All right, knowingly committing a federal crime. Something they never bring up is it's probably not the best idea to bring your kids along while you're committing a federal crime. I fucked up the word committing, and I didn't commit to that sentence properly. So let me say it again. Probably not the best idea to bring the kids along while you commit a federal crime. Maybe get a babysitter. You know, I'm not sure how the babysitting market is in Mexico. There's probably a lot of risks you're taking there. I don't know if there's a lot of properly vetted babysitters that have, you know, proven their trustworthiness their worth. But, you know, maybe just get a friend in the family. Look after those kids while you risk imprisonment. No, that's why the left calls the illegal immigrants, they call them undocumented, because they don't want that to be part of the debate. That, you know, the first thing they're doing when they come across the border is committing a federal crime. And we're then supposed to just think that they're going to slide right in and become, you know, productive members of society. And as soon as they cross that border, the spirit of 1776 is just going to enter into their spirit. Just fill them with pride of small government and free markets, and separation of church and state, freedom of speech, and Second Amendment rights. It's just going to click over, you know, and everything's going to work out, you know. I mean, if you just replace the population of white Americans with Mexicans, I mean, it'll still be America. It'll just be, you know, America volume brown, you know. Everything will be just the same, but the people are going to be totally different. Everything's just going to be just the same. Don't be racist. But it's like so absurd to not put the blame on the parents coming across the border. I can understand why you want to come over here. I can understand they got a shit roll of the dice being born in a country like that. But at the same time, they're carrying a lot of the baggage from that culture with them when they come across. The legal age of consent in Mexico is 12. Now, you come across the border and then you see, you know, first of all, as you're coming across the border, all these adolescent girls, and as Trump said, somebody's doing the raping. Okay. Don, somebody's doing the raping. Okay? That's beside the point. It's like, you know, if you want to take the risk to try to rob a bank, all right. But I wouldn't suggest having your 6-year-old be your getaway driver. It's a little... What are you doing? What's going on here? It seems like it's like a sympathy token. Like, yeah, I'm breaking this law, but look at my sad little kid's eyes. Don't you have a heart? But, you know, it's all a cover story that these people, the fake outrage about, oh, the children. You know, those same people are saying that, you know, 4 and 5-year-olds can be given hormone blockers and become transgender. The same people that never mention how, like, abusive parenting tactics, like hitting your kids, they never bring that up. That's like one of the biggest rampant things that's still going on in society, that people think you gotta hit your kids to make them behave. It's like the most backwards fucking caveman logic. Like, you know, your kid gets in a fight with another kid at school, and then you're like, the punishment is you're gonna fight your kid now. It's like, hitting is wrong, you know. And then, you know, we put all these kids in the drone factory public schools, and, you know, they may not be acting in total accordance with the rules of the school. And so then the problem's not, you know, the rigidness of the structure of the school. The problem is, well, your kid, we're going to give them Ritalin, and it's gonna help them. And I have a degree in psychiatry, so I'm accredited, and I'm taking your money for the drugs. and it's good for your kid. So that's what the doctor told you. None of these things get brought up when it comes to kids. But they care so much about kids, and then the national debt that's piling up over 20 trillion now, that the next generation is going to owe in taxes, and they had no say in whether or not they wanted to fit that bill. But it's the price you pay. You don't like it, you can leave. Everywhere else has a government too, but I'm sticking with that argument. It's just so ridiculous how they just, this Victorian hysteria about, they're kids. All they really want is a voting bloc that's not familiar with the history of Western culture and the history of hating authoritarianism and communism. Because the mainline leftist agenda politically has shifted so far. It's just like Bernie Sanders. Like Hillary started to sound so much like Bernie Sanders toward the end of her campaign about how we need free college and free health care and blah, blah, blah. Just a total government takeover of everything. And people don't realize that's how authoritarianism creeps up on you. Before you know it, there's no free market left, and you just have to do business with the government and eat the plate of shit they give you and put a smile on your face while you're eating it. That's what they're creeping towards. And so they want an uneducated populace that doesn't see that, has no history of resisting that. The ideas of Western culture that was like the divergence from that, and which is why this country is so successful. They can't appeal to those people because they're so ideologically against what they're trying to do, and they're educated to their tricks of manipulation, the divide and conquer, the race baiting, the gender politics and everything. The native population here isn't buying that shit, and that's what Trump's election was about. We've seen those tricks, and you're a hack magician at this point. We see what's up your sleeve, okay? You little sneaking Marxists there. We see you. Yeah, man, they tried to paint Joseph McCarthy as some kind of demonic psycho when I was in school. Like, he was just paranoid and nobody knew why. And then you research it on your own, it's like he was totally right. There was a huge Marxist infiltration of the United States. And that was what the Cold War was really about. It wasn't really about, there was the threat of, nuclear devastation, but politicians and leaders, you call them leaders, rulers, they don't usually like to put their own lives at risk in war. That's why you don't generally see nuclear powers attacking each other, because they can't just send the poor infantry off to be chewed up in the fields. They might get they might be enveloped in the mushroom cloud themselves. So there's a real risk to the rulers there. That's why the Cold War never really popped off. But what did happen is an ideological subversion. And there's good videos on YouTube by a defector of the USSR, I think it was, Yuri Bezmendikov. I'll let you deal with how to spell that. Just do your best estimation in the Google bar there. You may get there. But he talks about that, how they enter in through the universities and through mainstream culture and Hollywood, and there's just that slight subversion to get you to resent your own culture, to get you to view everything as oppressor and oppressed. And the class warfare wasn't working that well because people generally all want to be rich, but nobody wants to be deemed an oppressor, especially based on the things like gender and race that people are just born with genetically and don't really have much say in. Unless you want that reassignment surgery there. That's the next thing coming down the pipe is transracialism. And I can tell you, I'm going to be first in line to get my fast twitch muscles and play in the NBA. Anyway, dude, you gotta have a border with some criteria where some people get in, some people don't make the cut. You gotta have a cut, all right? We can't just let everybody on the team, or else the team goes to shit. It's just logic, but people, the left wants that infiltration of new demographics that they can appeal their bullshit magic tricks to and get their votes. So anytime anybody speaks out against that, well, you're racist. You're just xenophobic. It's like, to call America racist or xenophobic at this point is just a total joke. Like, I was watching a Stephen Molyneux presentation on immigration. There's 50 million people living here right now on the books that are foreign born. That's not counting like the 30 some odd million illegals that are living here. And so it's like, if a fifth of the total population is foreign born, we're really doing a bad job of being a racist nation. We're really just fucking up, you know. We're forgetting all the time that we hate these people, and we're just, you know, they're coming in. Why are we not hating them more? You know, and if we're so racist, then why do they want to come here in the first place and live next to, you know, Mr. Bigot Face next door? That Mr. Bigot Face. It's so stupid. Speaking of stupid, I saw Tom Arnold he's supposedly having a new show come out where he's going to be digging in and finding the dirt on Trump with Russia and with anything and everything. We need to find something bad that he's done. And it's like, it's so futile at this point. People are sold on Trump as a political outsider that came in and essentially financed his own campaign. He had small donations from actual supporters, not big corporations and big banks. That's the big key that nobody ever talks about. We saw what happened with Obama. I voted for Obama in 2008, and he was supposed to be this hope and change, and he's just a regular guy, and he's going to come in there and bring some common sense and compassion to the office. And no, he was financed by J.P. Morgan Chase, by Goldman Sachs, and a laundry list of other big corporations and banks. And what happens when the political rubber meets the road? The banks fail, and he bails them out to the tune of trillions of dollars on the taxpayer dime. And none of them go to jail. That's what happens when you have somebody that's a puppet. Obama was a puppet, and people still can't get that through their head that people respond to incentives. That's a big incentive when they finance your campaign and you win. Now you owe. All right? Or they have, you know, the levers of power to destroy you politically. And that's why the whole deep state and the whole media complex is against Trump, is because they have no leverage on him. His only responsibility is to satisfy his supporters. And so he's a real president. He's like, yeah, he's a ridiculous person, but he's a legitimate president. He's a legitimate populist. And that's why they can't stand him, because they can't control him. And but that's just what the Russia probe needed. We needed some more. I mean, it's already a bad joke in itself, but we needed another terrible comedian to come on and do some independent digging. Let's watch Tom Arnold's dorky fucking ass, the Roseanne's lesser half. Oh, I can't imagine why she left him. But Tom, It's so funny that Tom Arnold's like this big political activist. He's so like just snarky and shitty on Twitter, and you know, he's the good guy going after the evil Donald Trump. It's like, what the fuck has Tom Arnold ever done that benefited anyone? He was like, he just made bad jokes on the best damn sports show period, and that was the joke his jokes were terrible. That's your bit as a comedian, is that you're not funny. Oh, that's the bit. That's your angle. Oh, you're not funny. Right. That's good. All right, that works. And Roseanne actually, you know, she has her moments of being actually funny. She's actual successful stand-up. And, you know, one of the most successful shows ever in 2 installments. And it's hilarious now they're bringing back the Roseanne show. Hold. Without Roseanne. I can't believe they have the balls to even try that. Do you think that the people who are watching that show are so stupid that they're just like, Roseanne, and then they don't even notice throughout when the episode's rolling the credits, they're like, you know, I can't even remember if I saw Roseanne or not. Was she there, or it's like having Chappelle's Show, the next installment of Chappelle's Show, but hosted by Neil Brennan. Because, you know, he was the real brains behind the operation. So, for those who don't know, Neil Brennan's a comic who co-wrote a lot of the sketches with Chappelle on Chappelle's Show, but he never really showed up in any of the sketches. I don't know if he ever acted in any of the sketches. I can't remember him. He was pretty much just a writer. But, like, Chappelle's Show is back! And then they don't ever mention that, well, not with Dave Chappelle. It's, but it's going to be just as fun, you know. The first Chappelle Show, I mean, it did so well. Oh, we're just going to call this Chappelle Show, and then it's going to do well. It's just, you're going to be have such a contempt for your audience to think that they're that stupid that you can just... Anyway, dude. The Joe Rogan Experience, hosted by Brian Redband. Why are we not pulling the same numbers? Anyway, I guess that's some stuff going on in the world, stuff that I think is ridiculous. The weekly outrage there. But yeah, man. Let me know in the comments what you'd like to see on the Outrage podcast. We're going to get Kevin Pollard in here. We're going to get Kevin Bennett in here. And Igor is still our director. He's still a little bit shy about being on camera. He doesn't want his voice recognized. So we may have Igor, we may have to twist his arm to get him in here. And if not reveal his identity, he may have to wear some kind of potato sack over his head, possibly with voice modulation software, just to so his chummy chums in Hollywood don't realize that he's on this kind of subversive, evil, Nazi, white supremacist inspired program. How dare you make fun of the left and the superior left? Ooh. You must fall in the party line, Mr. Igor. You want to make films, Igor? You must bow to your masters. It's so funny. He shot a couple of his scenes for his new film he's making. In my apartment, and just the people he was having to work with were so unbelievably like boring and arrogant at the same time. It was so, just listening to their conversations, and I would come in like I'd be out walking around, then I'd come in and peek my head in and look at the shoot, and just the stressed look on Igor's face. It was just I'm sure he's gonna have a lot more fun now that we're bringing back the old crew. The boys are back in town. Outrage boys are back in town. We're getting the boys back together. All right, we're gonna shoot some sketches. We're gonna do the damn thing. And yeah, man. I think he's gonna be a lot happier being around people he actually likes while we're shooting the stuff. So, and I think that comes through on camera. We're all really good friends, and we just laugh our asses off when we get together and shoot something. So be on the lookout for it. I'm gonna be putting these podcasts out until I can get one of those other cretins in here. We can sit down and chop it up. But yeah, probably around the same time we're gonna get together and do another sketch, and yeah, we're gonna make it happen. We're gonna make it happen. Bringing some truth back into comedy. Bringing, you know, we're not male feminists, and we're not getting outed by the Me Too movement either. We're good guys that understand logic and reality. What a concept! A lot of times it seems like fantasy land out here, but you know, we're gonna give it to you straight with no chaser here at the Outrage TV podcast. OutrageCast. I'm trying to come up with a unique name for it. Maybe just OutrageCast. I don't know. I'm trying to keep these solo editions of the podcast around 30 minutes. I know that's the upper limit of tolerance for listening to me blabber on. But yeah, we may go a little longer when we have a guest. But yeah, let me know what you think in the comments. Like it if you like it. Trying to get our subscribers up. We got like 2,500 right now. 2,500 loyal soldiers that have been waiting for us to drop some more content. So I'm trying to roll it out for you there, man. All right. Outrageans. You outrageous bastards out there. This is the OutrageCast. And for now, I'm out.